Vincent, good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
Yes, Vincent. Just before we start, I don't mind short notice for reschedules, but it's just something we're being taught. These things really, you do need to, try and start. I'm happy to accommodate, as you know. I'm very accommodating, but these, these sort of last minute things and cancellations, things like that. Look, just in future, please, I would ask you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You mentioned you had to see a dentist.
Yes, I'm going to a dentist. I've had it's just a checkup and a clean.
The dentist you're seeing, I assume it's a fully qualified dentist, and that you're paying for it, right?
Yes, No, I'm actually getting my teeth made larger. I want really big choppers.
Big choppers, good.
So
right.
I want to sort of. It's quite a big procedure.
No.
Costs a fortune.
No. Look, I was merely asking out of concern, because I'd hate for you to be cutting corners on dental work in the way that you are on mental work. But
Michael, Michael.
But
now, where's this coming from?
No. Well, I'm just merely reflecting, and as I mentioned in the last session, I have been doing quite a lot of reflecting, and then you sort of there was quite a lot of things that you brought up which were, oh goodness, and so I went back over my notes as I have been going over in preparation for every session, because I do quite a lot of preparation for every session, even though they're short. You have no idea how much time I've had to invest in all of our sessions, and what I was. What I was wanting to raise with you before you sort of interrupted and jumped in is that I've really been reflecting on this whole, sort of Freud and Jung thing, and it's really, informed by my studies, because I've in my more recent studies there's a new school that I've become enamored with, and it's the kind of the next phase, which makes a lot of sense to me for a whole number of reasons, and what we've been doing, and I think it's worked. I feel that it's worked, although you have occasionally, complained, I guess. I don't know, just griped. But I feel I feel like we've made some progress. But look, everyone's a critic. But I reflected on that, and it could be, and this is again, I'm with my reflections. I was thinking, and there's the kind of the next wave. I may be skipping a few, but there was this thing which was the sort of the humanistic wave, and as I understand the humanistic, that's right, and I the way what I've read about it so far, and I'm only just very early, but it's really it resonates a lot. It arose in opposition, and just going with semantics, just quite simply, I think it arose in opposition because they felt that the other schools were in humanistic, so they said, well, we're the humanistic school, and so I reflected on that, and I thought, well, what is it about, and how does that work with us? Like in our case, how does that work? And I spent some time thinking about it, particularly since our last session, and a lot of for me, a lot of pennies have dropped, like loudly, with a thud. Well,
not literally, literally.
No. Well, no, because pennies don't really drop with a thud. They sort of drop with a bit of a clang, or.
Yes.
But anyway, look, I may be mixing metaphors. The point is that this humanistic school, I think, just really it just ties in wonderfully, because on reflection, I feel that maybe the previous the approaches that we've been using, or that I've been maybe imposing, or the Freudian and the Jungian, they're sort of in the analytical, they're sort of psychoanalysis, so I'm kind of analyzing you, and then with all the stuff with you talking about credits and future payments and things like that, and I'm like, well, I'm analyzing you, but you're not paying me, and so I'm doing all the work and all that sort of stuff. It's like there was just things about that just kind of I don't know, just something about that was a little bit, I don't know. So there's that bit, but we'll just put that to one side, because it's not about money, even though your wife is giving you $700 for a session, and I'm not seeing a penny. But that's not the point. That's not the point.
No, it's not. I mean, and look, she'll be really happy. She'll be really happy that we've moved on from Jung, because she wasn't happy with Jung, and if I can tell her look. That we're going with a humanistic approach.
Well, that's what
I think that's really good.
No, but that's the thing. And again, it's not for me to. And again, I just wanted to. And look, I don't want to sort of jump into it. It's not really for me to, because the whole point of the humanistic school is that it's client centered. So, and again, what I don't want to do is to sort of sleepwalk into this thing where I sort of say, hey Vincent, we're now doing humanistic, because that's completely the wrong way, because the real difference, the significance of this change, it's a little bit like, Mission Impossible. At the start of every episode, they would get that tape or whatever it was, and they would be like,
and it would blow up.
Well, at the end it would, but before it blew up, there would be that thing which said, your mission, should you choose to accept it.
Oh, yes.
Now that's an example, as I see it, because I sort of scrolled back of examples.
Yeah.
That's an example of you, because it's really up to you. It's not really for me to say, we're doing humanistic or client-centered. The whole point of client-centered is that you say, well, hey, this is why I'm doing it, and so especially given what you said in the previous session, it wasn't so much that you said, and this is something we probably need to explore, it wasn't that you said you weren't happy with it, it was your partner wasn't happy with it. But let's put that to one side and come back to it.
Yes, okay. Well, look, I feel like it's like a new beginning. I feel like it's a brand new day. Everything's brand new, and that's really exciting. To know this, that you've made that sort of effort to think about, my therapy really makes me happy. Everything's fine here. And my partner have reconciled. Everything's great. We've been, I adore her, and we've just sort of really, we have ups and downs. We had a great night the other night. We went out celebrating. I have been saving some money on the side, and I bought her a beautiful new fur coat, not real fur but fake fur. But I managed to find this beautiful coat, and it's sort of to the floor, and it matches the colour of her hair. So it's an auburn fake fur coat.
Oh, that's great.
She wore that in town, and look, people were staring. People thought she looked stunning.
That's fabulous.
The bartenders at the bar we were at were so convivial, and they were calling me Han Solo. They were calling me. I felt like I was on the Millennium Falcon.
That's brilliant. Well, Vincent, that's great. But listen, our time is almost up, so we really should start the session.
Yes, we should. Yes.
So I trust no harm, no harm or self harm.
No harm or self harm.
All right. Well, so Vincent, what in the short time we have left, what do you have to bring to the session today?
Well, I'm happy to be alive and happy to be a human. Is that right? Is that good?
Yes. That's great. Look, as I mentioned, and I don't want to.
Yes.
I don't want to belabor the point, but if we are obviously with your agreement, and
Yes.
What's really important is that we retain the focus on you as the client, because this is client centric, and there's something, and we'll probably have to lead this until for the next session, obviously, and come back to it.
Yeah.
But I've gone all the way back to the beginning, all the way back. And I thought, because you did come into the sessions at the very start with a very sort of client-centered approach. It was all about you, and that's great. That's important. And of course, then we got into special wants adult stuff, and that's all terrific. That really feeds into this whole client-centered. And what I've reflected on is, and maybe I've missed a few tricks along the way with all this sort of analytical Freud Jung stuff, and you've been terrific at picking up on those things and learning.
Yes.
So I think it's been great. But I just wanted to come back to where we began, I thought that there was something that we just kind of dropped the ball along the way at the very start.
Yeah.
And there was that whole thing with the tension and things like that, and I think we concluded there was all this stuff about the lasagna and your mother's recipe. And I thought
Yes.
And I thought that maybe, and again, I just want to stress our time is almost up, but I thought maybe, and this is just a suggestion because it's really not, but maybe before our next session, maybe you could take the opportunity to have some of your mother's recipe lasagna with your partner, and we can maybe discuss it at the next session about how you feel about that, and the portion sizes, and how that all goes down.
Okay. Well, that's a task. That's something.
No, God, no. It's not about sitting. It's a suggestion, and it's really entirely up to you as to whether. And if you don't do it, again, it's really totally no. It's not a task.
Okay.
No,
all right. Well, that sounds good. All right, I'll try that. All right. Is there any special other instructions? Like, I know that in the past I had to be prone. I had to. Then in the next sort of phase, I was staring. What?
No. Well, no. And again, because this school is it's client centered. Client centered. It's very much. It's really about. It's really all about you, Vincent. It's really all about you.
Right. Okay. So whatever goes.
Well, whatever is right for you is really what it is.
Okay.
I'm here for you.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. Well, I'll change the formula in the app to reflect this change. I don't know if it'll make any difference to the future credits, but it might. I'll get the developers to work on that. Thank you so much.
I've had a quick play around with the app, and you just need to add an option in the drop down in one of the cells. So it's not that hard.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Cheerio. All right, bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.